Politics have come to mean many things to different people. What does politics and political leadership mean to you?
Well, for me, politics mean a lot to me, and politics for me is the number one tool. Politics for me is a tool, and is the number one tool. It is the greatest tool in this world if it is used by skilled people. By that I mean people who are trained, people who are educated, people who understand how to use this tool. Because this is, like I said, this is the number one tool, the greatest tool that can be used to increase human resources, to develop human resources, to transform human resources, and to be used to transform natural resources. So if it is not used by skilled people, what you will have in the echelon of leadership, of politics, will be people who are not equipped, people who are not skilled, people who are not educated, and who will not understand how to use this tool, the tool called politics. That tool is leadership, providing the leadership, the requisite leadership to transform people. So once people who are not skilled at the corridor of power, leading our politics, what you have is underdevelopment, what you have is destruction, what you have is just people using this tool to enrich themselves, converting public funds into personal funds. What you have is powerful individuals who will be building hotels all over the villages, all over the towns, and all over the city. What you have is absence of industrialization. But once you have skilled people, knowledgeable people driving the tool called politics, what you will have is massive development. What you have, you will not even have problem with the basic need of man, basic need of society, which is water, light, and electricity. If they will be in abundance, they will be available. There will be development, human resources will be improved upon, you will have good education, good hospitals, good infrastructures everywhere. So for me, politics is the number one and the greatest tool all over the world. But once you have the wrong people at the corridor of power, then what you are going to have is inefficiency and lacks, because the individuals who are the corridor of power are going to convert the resources that are meant to develop human resources and to develop our community, will end up in personal pockets.
Speaking of effective representation, you represented Ethiopia East in Delta State House of Assembly. Aside having served in Chief James Ibori cabinet as commissioner, where you served alongside the incumbent governor of Delta State, you are famed for your disposition to the security of lives and property of your people. Notable was your going into the bush to chase herdsmen who were ravaging your people, writing letter to the president of Nigeria, and going as far as writing letter to the government of Donald Trump. What informed this special disposition to the safety and security of your people? And what is the situation now? If anything, has it abated?
Well, unfortunately, the situation has escalated. It has not abated. I was very passionate, very passionate, and passionately committed as an elected person. For me, the security of life of our people, of my constituents, our Deltans, the security of their lives and property was foremost for me in my heart. For me, that was my primary reason of going to the State House of Assembly, to join my other colleagues in the House, for us to be able to make good laws that will help the state to grow properly and develop properly. And for that reason, I champion, and I have no regret whatsoever for championing and defending the cause of our people, the lives of our people, and the property of our people. As at this time I go to the Delta State House Assembly, it was a daily horrendous story of our constituents, that whenever they cross the river to go to their farmland, many of my constituents were farmers, and all they live upon is their farm. You know, so they were subsistent farmers. But the moment they go to their farm, you see the Fulani herdsmen have taken over the entire backyard of our farmland, from Abraka to Eku to Igu to Okpara, all those expanse of land of over 14,000 hectares of lands were taken over by the Fulani herdsmen. They were there in their thousands of cows and thousands of human beings. And on a daily basis, it's either they are going to rape one of our mothers, sisters, or one of our constituents who go to the farm. Some of them, they rape them in front of their husband. Some of them, they will kill them. After they will kill their husband, or they will kill some of the women. It was a daily occurrence. And several times I tried to have audience with the state governor for him to try to give me the necessary support so that I can be able to, take on this issue. But I didn't get any support from the governor. He was careless about it. He didn't even want to hear about it. But I decided to provide that courageous and bold leadership that was constantly going into that bush, into that forest, to chase those Fulani herdsmen from our farmland in Ethiopia. And it was a very, very successful operation, because it was a sustainable operation that I was doing, which means I was going there almost every week. Because if you don't go there regularly, you just go there one time, then they are going to regroup. And I knew that at the rate they were operating that time, that if that intervention that I provided, if it was not provided, they were going to overrun the whole communities of Ethiopia. And I said no. At the risk to my life and the risk to my family, I was always going into that bush to ensure that the last Fulani herdsman is made uncomfortable in that bush and in that backyard. And that was a place I grew up. I went to farm there with my grandmother, and so I was very passionate about it, and I was very, very happy that we were able to dislodge them, to move them from time to time. And anytime we hear they kill our people, they rape our women, we go after them. And it was very, very unfortunate for me, because that every effort I made to get the governor's intervention, to get his support, Governor Okowa failed me all through. He didn't show any interest about it. He never came. We lost over 20 people in the whole of Ethiopia. He never visited any family. He never visited any of the victims' family. He never showed anything. He never gave them. He never compensated them. Nothing was done. But it didn't stop me. I went as far as the Washington D.C., writing to the government of Donald Trump to get their attention. I was a very, very strong voice for that very, very debilitating and unfortunate thing that my constituent went through, and I was able to provide the leadership that pushed those herdsmen out of that backyard. It was a twin issue. At the same time, we're having issue with Presco company. Presco is an palm oil company based in Edo State, and they came to take over our entire expanse of land, measuring over 14,000 hectares of land, where our parents are farming, and they took over the whole land. Today, everything that our parents are doing in that land, they have been abandoned. The land now belongs to Presco, thanks to Governor Okowa carelessness. He didn't show any interest, any single atom of interest in it. In the people being killed by the Fulani herdsmen, he was careless. In the takeover of the land by Presco PLC, he didn't show any care. So, and it was very, very painful. You see the way that he abandoned his campaign to go and commiserate with the victim family of those police officers. I'm very sorry for my condolence to those family. But you see the way that Okowa took it very personal. I went to condole with the family, went to visit them, because they are from Owa Alero, and his place of birth, Ika Northeast. But when it concerns other local government, Ughelli South, Ethiopia East, Ethiopia West, or any part of Delta State, as long as they don't carry the blood of Owa, he will not go and commiserate with them.
Speaking of the extent of cooperation you would have expected from your governor, you are a lawmaker and you do understand the extent and limitation of governors in matters of security, though they are the chief security officers of the estate. But it is arguable that there is little they could do in matters of security. However, taking into account your personal efforts and the challenges you had to deal with, what were your exact expectations from the governor, considering the circumstances of that time that you didn't get?
Well, the exact expectation from me was that, you know, the governor of a state is the chief executive of the state, just like the president being the chief executive of the country. Today was the day that the president made a national broadcast, and you see that it was a strong voice. The strongest voice we have in Delta State is the voice of the governor. So when a governor cannot come out to condemn the dastard act of the killing of the citizens of the state, and the governor is not ready to support by providing financial resources or making sure that the security agency focus on effort at pushing back the Fulani herdsmen from the various community backyard. When the governor does not show any interest, he does not talk about it. Even if you try to go about him, sometimes he calls me to warn me that they are calling from Abuja, that this thing I'm doing, this Fulani herdsman that I'm chasing is bringing me a lot of embarrassment. People are angry with him. I should stop it. And I said, no, I cannot stop it, because it's about the life of my constituents. So the support, the encouragement that I require from him, even just to be able to get to support our people by providing a booster point, standby security. If there's like a standby pinpoint where policemen have a checkpoint where they can push back, just the presence of security people around that place will scare these Fulani herdsmen, and they will run away, because we know this backyard more than them. So making them uncomfortable, the only person that can make them uncomfortable, I'm just a lawmaker. I don't have any access to budget or to funding. So if he's interested in it, he will have provided a pinpoint or a checkpoint, or get policemen and mobile policemen and soldiers to regularly patrol the whole of that bush, the whole of that expanse of land called Ovleku, Abraka, Okpara, and Igu. He didn't provide any security. We were on our own. Our people were left to die. Our people were left to be raped on a daily basis. Our people were left alone. So no kind of support, no encouragement, no standing by me. I was not interested. And then who is still the current speaker, Sheriff Ivwurie, assisted me to a very, very large extent, to the extent that he even mobilized us for assembly, you know, upon my request to join me to comb the bush at one point in time. So that was something very wonderful that Sheriff, as the speaker, did. He mobilized the leadership that joined us to go and comb the whole of the bush.
Before I go to politics at the federal, which is a concern of every Nigerian, I would want to understand, choosing just like economists will say, alternative for gun. Choosing Obiomagede is indirectly saying a vote of no confidence on somebody you work very closely, right, Honorable Sheriff Ivwurie. You work closely with him, you know him politically. What, in your understanding, do you think debtors needs to know to guide their decision?
Well, the two of them were my friends, they are Deltans. I've had a lot of personal family friendship with Sheriff Ivwurie. We're very good friends. I also helped him to become the Speaker of Delta State, and that also gave me the opportunity to know him better until he became Speaker. Because, you know, all of us in the political circle, we can just know ourselves from the top, you know, not that I was visiting his family, or not that his family was visiting me, you know, but we just know ourselves as PDP members, as friends, and as elected people. So when the governor insisted that he wants him to be the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, and then I contributed immensely to his attaining that position, his emergence as the Speaker of Delta State. It was until his emergence that I knew that he's a very, very deficient person, he's a very clumsy person. Unfortunately, he's not skilled. What I mean is not skilled is that he doesn't have the potential and the capacity to, as a speaker, he was struggling. I would like to let you know that the work of the speaker in the House of Assembly or in the National Assembly is the easiest work, because all the speaker need to do is to listen to members, articulate issues, articulate bills, and his own is to agree or to disagree with the gavel. And it's one of the simplest things to do. But in terms of proficiency, efficiency, and efficacy, it was totally lacking in those areas. He could not provide the needed leadership. And I also want you to know that this is how it is in Nigeria, and this is the reality, that many speakers are on the seat not because they are the best in the house, but just because they are the people who the governor can bend, can talk to, can use against people, and there are people who are very, very loyal to the governor. In most cases, they are idiots. In most cases, when I say idiot, I don't mean to insult anybody, but just to let you know that they don't know their left from their right. They are not very intelligent people. They are just people who do what the governor wants them to do. So that is the category he falls into. He's very close to the governor. He's a yes man to the governor. He can never say no to anything Okowa wants. He can never say no to any request that Okowa brings before him. But in terms of capacity to relate with members, to address issues, to talk to press, he doesn't have that capacity. He doesn't have that intelligence. He may have native intelligence, but he doesn't have academic intelligence, academic smartness. He doesn't have it. He cannot articulate issues. He cannot understand. He doesn't understand the issues. So he's not that kind of a speaker who will stand among competent speakers. He can stand among Nigerian speakers who are incompetent like him, and then they can speak pidgin and do the business of the day with their pidgin English. If possible, speak Urubo or Okwe, interact like that. But to say you want to speak good English, no, he cannot. He cannot speak very good English. He cannot speak fluently. He cannot write fluently, and he can never address the press. He doesn't address the press. Even for scripts that are prepared for him to read or to exchange, he will be struggling. You will see him bending down. He will never have eye contact with the interviewee. He will not, because he doesn't understand where they are coming from or where they are going to. But so for me, he's my friend. But to allow such a person to become the chief executive of Delta State, for me, it's a no-no. I don't have anything personal against him, because the work of a speaker, he cannot do it. You want to make him a governor is a third term for Okowa, who as a sitting governor has taken over a very massive expanse of land that share the same fence with the Delta State government house. The same fence. So when Okowa, God forbid, if he makes his puppet governor, all he will just bust a hole on the wall, because the government house is just a wall between the governor's office and Okowa new house. So he will still be treating Delta State government file, because there's no way Ivwurie can treat those files. There's no way Ivwurie can treat those files, important government files. There's no way Ivwurie can introduce any policy. He doesn't know his left from his right. He cannot stand before Governor Soludo or Governor Baseki or the new governor of Ondo State, or the new governors who are vibrant, who are intelligent. He cannot. To even choose a team, you have to choose a team for him. Because we're not talking about Defe, we're not talking about hooliganism or how far it be, what they carry last. Those are not the things. We're talking about a governor who can be innovative. The next governor of Delta State must be highly innovative, must be able to introduce policy that will have an enduring impact and effect on the development and the growth of Delta State. We are talking the next governor of Delta State must be somebody who has that capacity to move our suffering people from their extreme poverty to prosperity, to growth, to light, to water, to housing, to hospital, to industry, to companies springing up, and good schools. This guy doesn't have that capacity. But you, between me and you, in Urhobo land, there's a proverb that says that I have a kaba GBV. You cannot compare fake bead to Kora bead. If there's a Kora bead, the other one is a akaba. Is a fake bead. So please, our people need to know this, and they need to vote rightly. They need to vote rightly. You cannot compare with your man with a boy. It's not possible. It's not possible. The other guy is my friend. Let us give him something that he can handle, not something that he cannot handle. Okowa just want to use him to run a third term in Delta State. And by the grace of God, that will not work at all. And it is for this reason that Okowa has been chasing me, fighting me, and doing everything humanly possible. But I know that by the grace of God, even as he's monitoring me on a daily basis, with the intent to kill me, and to also both himself and Sheriff to kill me, they should know this is a very clear message to them that they should stay far away from me, because I will not harm them, and they should not think of harming me. I've said it, they should not try it.
Many have argued that Delta State have not been able to live up to its billing. These have maintained that cities like Warri are living in their past glories and the ghost of itself. Asaba have not been able to take advantage of its proximity to the enterprising Anambra State. These have called to mind the kind of leaders Deltans will be having in their minds as they go to the polls. You've spoken glowingly of the Deputy Senate President, Senator Ivwurie. How do you see him fitting into this mold?
Well, thank you very, very much. You see, even if I am sleeping, the choice before us is like between life and death in Delta State. The choice between us in Delta State today is like between life and death, darkness and light. And it should not be difficult for any Deltan. Any money Okowa bring, let them eat it, let them take it, it's their money. But let them vote their conscience. I am very, very, very well educated, very well trained at the highest level. And I also have the skill to be able to make empirical decision in leadership. You can never compare these two people, Ovioma Agege and Sheriff Oboewu. You can't. Ovioma Agege will cry if people are hungry. Ovioma Agege will weep if people are jobless like today. He's not happy. Go and look at him very well. He's not happy. Ovioma Agege is not aspiring to be governor of Delta State because he doesn't have money, or he's not satisfied, or because he's power hungry. As a deputy senate president, we all very well are seeing the way Ovioma Agege is using power. Ovioma Agege is one of the most powerful politicians in this country today. But he remained calm, he remained humble, and he remained committed to development. I see him struggling on a daily basis, running helter-skelter, not eating well, because he cares for his people. He cares for Deltans. He cares for Delta Central. He cares for the Robo people. And he cares for the majority of Deltans. All Ivwurie Agege dreams today is the next big project he can bring from Abuja to Delta State. If he has his way, he will bring every garden project. He's very passionate about that, and he's very pragmatic about that. Before he finishes one project, he's thinking of another 5-10 projects he can bring to Delta State. He's the first Deltan, as better be governor, be minister, be senator, House of Rep member, powerful Delta, to bring massive development, infrastructure to Delta State as a senator. And today, if he's passing through villages, he will be imagining, oh, I wish there's a stadium in this village. I wish there's a hospital in this village. I wish there's an industry in this village. Car manufacturing industry, electric manufacturing industry. I wish there's light in this community. Those are the things that fire Ivwurie Agege if you get close to him. And if you look at the kind of way he's playing his politics, he's not a friend kind of person that likes to attend burial, naming ceremony. He goes to all those ceremonies, but just to be able to know what more those communities need. He has never been a chief executive officer. He's just a lawmaker. He has no budget. And look at the type of things he is attracting to Delta State. But today, under Sheriff Ivwurie as Speaker of Delta State, can you tell me one thing he has brought into Delta State? One thing he has brought to his constituency? Any project, road project or school, anything? Nothing. He has nothing to show. He has nothing to offer. He has not done anything. Me, just as an ordinary member of the Delta State House Assembly, I was passionately committed to attracting projects. I never allowed Okowa to rest. Anytime I meet with Okowa, it's not about money or contract or personal thing. No, we need to do this road in Ethiopia. We need to do this road in Ethiopia. We need to repair this school in Ethiopia. We need to repair this something in Ethiopia. Those are the kind of things I can discuss with the governor, sitting with the governor. I cannot sit down with the governor and be telling governor about my personal thing that pains me. And that is the kind of thing that Ivwurie Agege is doing, and he's doing the times 500 times bigger than I am doing. He's using his office as a senator maximally to help Delta State. No senator from Delta State has done what Ivwurie Agege has done in this state. No minister from Delta State has done what Ivwurie Agege has done in this state. And no former governor and present governor has attracted federal project into Delta State. Former senator, former minister, present minister, former governor, present governor, they have not attracted anything. But Ivwurie Agege, come on. Today, under Sheriff and under Okowa, Deltans are jobless. Deltans are dying of hunger, pain, suffering, setback, disappointment, and shame are the lots that Okowa and Sheriff has visited on every community in Delta State and on every individual in Delta State. There is no, all the tales you have are woes, tales of woes, from one village to the other village, from one town to the other town, from one city, from Abuja to Asaba, to Warri, to Saple, to Ughelli, to Ole, to Agbo. Everywhere is the same story of massive wickedness. Satanic visitation, not a project. Unforgiveness. When Okowa holds you in his heart, he holds you forever. And for that, he can decide to punish your village. One single project will never go to that village. One single project. And the speaker who cannot speak cannot challenge him. Cannot challenge him. Cannot tell him anything. Look at our young girls everywhere in Delta State. Many of our children, daughters, are doing many things they will never like to do with their life because they have no option. Many of our youths are doing so many things they will not ordinarily do, but because they have no option, they are doing them. That will not happen under Ivwurie Agege. That will not. The examples are clear. If you go to the Federal Polytechnic that Ivwurie Agege has attracted to Delta State, and you know what Ivwurie Agege also made sure, go and check the buildings, all of them are like universities in America. All the buildings, all the infrastructure that have been provided there, they are world standards. They are world standards. They are like university in Houston, they are like university in the city of London. Because it did not compromise it. It gave the work to the best contractors. To the best contractors. And that is what is going to happen all over Delta State when he becomes governor by the grace of the living God. Today, if you go to any university in Delta State or any polytechnic in Delta State, go and look at the old building are burning. The old infrastructure are like this. The foundations are shaking. No. But anything Ivwurie Agege is bringing, is also bringing the best contractors, not his friends, but the best contractors to build them, because he wants those infrastructure to outlive even his next 2 generations, or if not 4, 5 generations. Best of this thing. So there's no way you can compare somebody who came under the slogan of prosperity for Deltans and has turned all Deltans to beggars, has turned our girls to prostitutes, and has turned our sons to kidnappers and armed robbers. There's no way you're going to compare such a person to Ivwurie Agege, who is an ardent empowerer of people, builder of human resources, sustainer of human resources across Delta State. You are going to see. I cannot wait for Ivwurie Agege to be governor, because I know that the past will be the past. There will be Delta will flourish. Delta State will flourish. You see the way people of River State are enjoying Wike today now. You will enjoy Ivwurie 2 times more than that, because Ivwurie Agege went to some of the best schools in the world. And he lived in the most civilized communities in the world. He lived in the United States. He went to some of the best schools, University of Benin. He went to University in America, Lutheran Law School. So, and his commitment and passion towards development is unquantifiable. He is somebody every day he dreams of the best of policies that is going to bring in, the best of initiatives and ideas that is going to bring in on board. He is just, Ivwurie Agege is going to leave a legacy for Delta State. After his tenure, you are going to see the legacy. He will be respected, highly, highly respected, and he will be seen as one of the best and outstanding governor of an African state. That is the best. Delta should expect nothing but the best from Ivwurie Agege. I can say this at the level of my experience in public service, and at the level of my intellectual exposure and achievement.